Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it's a real pleasure to be here in Western Australia, and I just wanted to show that video just to give you a bit of a taste of the excitement and the national nature of what we're doing here. And there's a huge amount of activity ongoing, as you can see in that video. I've been coming to Western Australia my whole career. I started my career in the Collins program, the Anzac program, and I recently had the opportunity to be down at Henderson and Garden Island. And you can see the investment that the country's putting in. It's very, very impressive. So as the Chief Executive of the Naval Shipbuilding Institute, which is a joint venture between Kellogg Brown Root and Huntington Ingalls, the largest shipbuilder in the United States, we're tasked with establishing Australia's Naval Shipbuilding College on behalf of the Australian government and delivering the government's investment in defence capability. So as we've talked today, a huge amount of investment in maritime capability going forward, 90 billion, attack-class submarines, Hunter-class frigates, Arafura-class offshore patrol vessels, Guardian-class patrol boats, Collins life of type extension, and obviously, very importantly, Collins full-cycle docking. And this represents really the largest single engineering project this country has ever embarked upon, a true nation-building endeavour. Now, we have successfully built good ships and submarines in this country before. Indeed, we've just completed a very successful Hobart-class series of DDGs, arguably very capable and world-class vessels. The difference here is that Australia is really doing this in a continuous way, establishing a continuous shipbuilding approach and not just stop-start projects. Establishing a national level of shipbuilding enterprise. This is a 40-year-plus continuous shipbuilding endeavour. It's the establishment of an enterprise that will happen to build the ships and submarines that have been selected, but it's much broader than just the projects themselves, and is indeed a national endeavour that requires the skills and expertise beyond those that just the OEMs will provide. Indeed, there's a real sovereign overlay here for us all. In addition, these ships and submarines are more complex, arguably more complex than those which Australia has just completed. And Australia will be the parent navy of these highly specialised platforms and systems that requires a greater level of expertise. As we know and we read in the papers, availability and capability of the workforce is one of the major challenges, one of the major risks that we need to overcome for the success of this enterprise and the delivery of these important national security assets. And this is really where the Naval Shipbuilding College comes in. Our mission is to lead the creation and sustainment of the enterprise that identifies, attracts and skills the multi-generational sovereign capability for naval shipbuilding. The vision that we have is that all stakeholders in Australia know that we in this country have the shipbuilding capability to meet the Naval Shipbuilding Plan. We've been established to serve a number of key stakeholders. Firstly, the Commonwealth, the Department of Defence, as I said, to lead the creation and sustainment of the enterprise that does establish and attract and skills this future multi-generational workforce and delivers on the naval shipbuilding capability for Australia. This is from school students to experienced trades and tertiary graduates. And we're required to ensure that the workforce is available with sufficient skills and sufficient capacity to meet the requirements of that shipbuilding plan, including both the construction and, importantly, the sustainment and ship repair of these important assets. Secondly, industry, partnering with industry to create a national skills base, ensuring that the industrial workforce is available in the required locations, in the required capacity when needed by industrial partners. Ensuring that this workforce has the required skills, knowledge and experience required to enter the shipbuilding sector successfully. Reducing industry's costs, their costs in sourcing and securing this required labour force. And assisting with the overall management of the workforce evolution as it goes up and down through this important period. Thirdly, the education and training sector, connecting the education and training sector where they can contribute to this national shipbuilding enterprise, ensuring that suitable education and training offerings are made available to meet the workforce training needs of the enterprise and our industrial partners, and ensuring that the quality of the skilling offerings is endorsed and maintained at the requisite level through the life of the enterprise. And finally, the future workforce, increasing the overall pool of workforce candidates through national industry sector promotion, promoting the opportunities available for careers in Australia's shipbuilding enterprise, and connecting potential future employees with the sector's opportunities and the industry's companies. Our operational model is a hub and spoke. NSC is the hub, headquartered at Osborne, South Australia, and with a growing office here in Henderson, Western Australia, adjacent to the two major shipbuilding construction yards, and with a potential future for a future hub in Garden Island in the East Coast where the ship repair activities are located. The spokes are Australia's training provider network. We have engagement with over 26 of the national training providers in a network across the vocational and tertiary sectors in every state and territory, and these are the spokes. So what does NSC do? We're establishing a comprehensive set of workforce development services across the sector that will underpin the establishment of Australia's naval shipbuilding enterprise. You could say that the Naval Shipbuilding College is at the very core of the national continuous shipbuilding enterprise, ensuring that the workforce is ready for this success. We conduct workforce management, developing and analysing workload demand from industry, identification of the priority and critical roles for industry, identifying current and projected shortages, implementing appropriate interventions to ensure the supply, ensuring the security of the workload demand data, and engaging across the whole supply chain to fully understand the complete workload demands. We're involved in talent acquisition, conducting labour market supply analysis, and constructing and maintaining a comprehensive workforce management model for the sector. Maintaining a common industry job taxonomy for job creation, and managing the NSC Workforce Register and industrial candidate engagement, which has now over 1,000 candidates registered, with over 100 who are job ready today for jobs across the shipbuilding sector roles. We're conducting skilling, training and development services, identifying gaps in current training education offerings from our training provider networks, and developing and overseeing gap closure plans. Providing training and education entities with a formal naval shipbuilding endorsement, and we now, as I said, have 26 training service providers located across every state in Australia for this national enterprise, and managing the community of excellence of these endorsed providers on an ongoing basis. And finally, communications and engagement and community outreach, conducting career events across the country, promoting the sector through secondary schools and tertiary institutions for industry attraction, and developing website and social media capabilities to market the sector to the future workforce. And working cooperatively with the Defence Force Recruiting Organisation and Navy under memorandums of understanding. So in conclusion, NSC is operating at the centre of Australia's shipbuilding enterprise, partnering with industry, partnering with education and training sector to ensure that the workforce is available with sufficient skills and the capacity to meet Australia's shipbuilding plan. We still have a lot to do in order to have all of this in place, but we're well on the way, and we look forward to partnering with many of the organisations in the room today, and I look forward to talking with many of you in the drink session later on. Thank you.